guys, it's Megan with Vigilante Vibes, and unless you've lived under a rock, you know that Daredevil Born Again episodes 1 and 2 dropped last night. I have rewatched both episodes already. I've spent probably 4 hours of the past 15 hours watching the show, and I have to tell you, I am obsessed. I am traumatized. I am sad, but I'm excited. If you haven't seen the show, do not watch this video because I'm going to have spoilers. Pretty big spoilers. So just watch the show, then come back. Unless you're into spoilers. I'm into spoilers, but like some aren't. I realize that. Small majority. So I don't even know where to start. The show hits so freaking hard. It starts with the avocados at law, chilling in a bar, having a good time. It's Josie's bar from the Netflix Daredevil show. But then what's to happen? It ends with Foggy dying. I asked one thing of the show. Don't kill Foggy. You guys, I posted a video yesterday talking all about Foggy. And at the end, I said something like, I don't think they're going to kill him. I hope they don't. Please don't. So that happened. I'm so glad I spent so much time doing that. But that's okay. It's there if you want to watch it. But and then we go to a year later after that, after Daredevil beats the brakes off Bullseye, who was thrown off a building, but then came right back up, which makes me think, does he already have the adamantium in him? Because that's what it kind of seemed like. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm curious where they're going to go with that. But anyways, we're in a year in the future. Matt has already started a new law firm, Murdoch and McDuffie. Kingpin is running for mayor. He wins mayor, which, like, I like where this is going. If you've read Devil's Reign, you like where this is going. I'm into it so much. There are so many small comic references in the show that I really, really dug. Like, White Tiger's whole story, straight from the comics. I love that. But if they're going with the comics, that means he's going to die. But, like, the actor passed away too, R.I.P. So, like, it makes sense. But if the character dies, that probably means it's going to be passed. The mantle of White Tigers will be passed down to Ava, his daughter, who we all saw in Ultimate Spider-Man. So that makes sense. But there was a few things in here that stuck out to me, like the tracksuit mafia. They were first introduced in Hawkeye. We last saw them in She-Hulk, I think. And they're just one of the many crime organizations that Vanessa Fisk has been running in her husband's absence, which I want so much more of that. I didn't know. Well, I knew that he got shot in the eye by Echo. I didn't know he dipped. I didn't know she was with some guy named Adam. Who knew she was for the streets? Not me. But yeah, the Tracksuit Mafia, they made their comics debut in Hawkeye Volume 4, number 1, August 2012. So that's kind of cool. Speaking back on Murdoch and McDuffie, his business partner's name is Kirsten McDuffie. She's played by Nikki M. James. I think she's from Severance. I haven't seen the show. I don't know. But I keep saying I'm going to try Severance. McDuffie was created by Mark Waid and artist Paulo Rivera and introduced in Daredevil Volume 3, number 1 in July of 2011. McDuffie herself is actually named after the late, great comic book writer Dwayne McDuffie, who passed away in February 2011, 5 months before Kirsten's character debuted. That's sad. So, we can't talk about all that and not talk about Matt's love interest, Heather Glenn. So, Glenn is played by Margarita LaViva. I love her as an actress. If you've watched Revenge, which actually was a Marvel property which is interesting. But if you've watched Revenge, then you know that she is a big character in that show and she's fantastic. But she also was in Disney Plus's The Acolyte, if she looks familiar in other ways. She was created by Marv Wolfman and artist William Robert Brown, and first appearing in Daredevil number 126 in July 1975. And she has a pretty rich background in the comics for just kind of being a love interest. I think I might make a video about her. I'm going to make a video about her. Whatever. She's cool. I hope she doesn't die. I hope not. But I don't know because they've already pulled so many things. But whatever. So another character to look out for is Buck Cashman, who is Marvel Comics. In the comics, he goes by the name Bullet. Created by Ann Nocenti and John Romita Jr., Bullet first appeared in Daredevil number 250 and in January 1988. Much like the MCU version, the comic book Buck Cashman works closely for the Kingpin, though the comic version is a mercenary who typically wears a mask. It's like way too early to tell, but like there's always that chance he could suit up in the MCU, but like probably not, you know? Let's be honest, probably not. All right. In the first episode, the one that caused my trauma, Karen Page is now moved to San Francisco following the events of opening prologue, which that's where the trauma originated. San Francisco has notably been a second home for Daredevil in the comics outside of New York. The first time the character moved there was in Daredevil number 86 from 1972 by Jerry Conway and co-creator of The Punisher. Then in 2014, during Mark Waid's run of the Daredevil comic, Matt Murdock once again moved to San Francisco to start a new life there, which is cool. Now, Fisk. The plot around Wilson Fisk running for mayor, it was first hinted at in like the post-credit scene of Echo. I think a lot of us knew where that was going, and I was excited. It's taken from a plot line of Charles Soule's Daredevil storyline. Wilson Fisk's Kingpin was elected mayor of New York in Daredevil number 28 in October 2017, following the devastation of the Secret Empire storyline. Fisk's tenure as the mayor of Marvel Comics leads him to outlaw superpowered individuals from the city, the Vigilantes, which seemingly is where the direction of the series seems to be going. So I think we're going to see Kingpin try to outlaw Vigilantes, and I'm down for it because it's a great story, and it's a perfect way to bring in Luke Cage. And also think about all the other Vigilantes in New York. Like, who could we see? Daredevil is adapting a comic book storyline that was created in the middle of the previous series run out of Netflix. Following Fisk's tenure, Luke Cage actually became mayor of New York City, possibly setting up how that character could return in Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's perfect. Just do it. Like, what are you doing? We saw White Tiger, which I did make a video about him talking all about Hector and in the comics and what I expect to happen. It seems like my theory was correct, that Matt will represent him and he will be falsely accused of something. I don't want to brag, but like my theories never come true. So this was like the first, and that makes me happy. So there was also a few references in these episodes that like Marvel loves the Times Square. They love the product placement and using it in Times Square. And we saw like the New Year celebration when the Kingpin is addressing the citizens of New York. And there were a few, like we got a billboard for Rogers the Musical. Like I want to see that so bad. But another one I found super interesting was Harlem's Paradise. If you guys remember, that's the nightclub featured in Luke Cage. Initially owned by the criminal Cottonmouth, later his cousin Maria Dillard, after she unalived him. Following her death, she left it to Luke Cage, who decided to run the business as a way to monitor and control the crime in Harlem. The last time audiences saw Luke Cage was Jessica Jones season 3, and he was still running Harlem's Paradise. And maybe this is a hint at we're getting Luke Cage, because honestly, out of all of them, I would think it's between Jessica Jones and Luke Cage who comes next. I think they're still trying to figure out what they're doing with Iron Fist. Let's be honest. It was problematic. But Jessica Jones, I think she's been pushing for it a lot more publicly. But Luke Cage, I think, would make the most sense. Either way, I'll take whatever you give me. Another one is the Pym Van Dyne Foundation that we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Hope Van Dyne retook the control of Pym Technologies and renamed the company using Pym particles to help reshape the world. Thank you, Hope. Also, another, like the last reference, the ones that we see so oddly often is the ad for the green drink Pingo Doce. First seen in The Incredible Hulk. It's an advertisement that can also be seen in Ant-Man, and a diet version is in X-Men 97. So I like how they bring it all together. Side note, you can order that at Avengers Campus on Disneyland. I haven't had the pleasure of drinking it, but I really want the pleasure of drinking it. I don't even drink soda, but I still want it. Okay. Anyways. In Wilson Fisk's speech to the citizens of New York, he drops a small hint at two of the MCU's most famous vigilantes in New York with strong ties to Daredevil, the Punisher and Spider-Man. The Punisher was already confirmed to appear in Daredevil Born Again, with Jon Bernthal reprising his role, which everyone loved. Everyone. However, don't expect Spider-Man to appear. I mean, there could be more references, but he's not going to appear. Marvel Studios does not have the live-action television rights to the character. It's not going to happen. So don't let the clickbait tell you Spider-Man's coming. He's not coming. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not happening. Kingpin calling out Spider-Man is fitting, as the villain first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 50 and was commonly associated as a Spider-Man villain, using Frank Miller's Daredevil run made him Daredevil's arch nemesis. It is also fitting that the Punisher and Spider-Man are linked together, since the Punisher first debuted in The Amazing Spider-Man number 129. While filming Pilgrimage, Jon Bernthal and Tom Holland recorded audition tapes together to land the parts of the Punisher and Spider-Man, respectively, which eventually paid off, further connecting the two characters. So, yeah. I'm interested. I'm trying to figure out why Punisher is going to be here. I'm down for it, but where do you fit into this? Is it Kingpin? Is it going to be Muse? It's not going to be something about White Tiger. I don't think. I think that's its own little thing. But when is he going to get there? And why hasn't he shaved in a year? What happened to him? I want to know. It's like the audacity that they drop these two banger of an episodes and then make us wait another week for another one. It just hurts a little bit, but it also I get it. I'm going to be thinking about this for the next 6 days. So, but yeah, a lot happened in those two episodes, and I did not expect them to go as hard as they did. And I'm glad they did. They upped the ante. They upped the stakes so quick. They set the tone so fast. And I like that. But also what's weird is Brad Winderbaum confirmed today that Foggy and Karen will be in season 2. So it's going to be flashbacks, I guess. But flashbacks to what? I don't know. But I'm interested, but that also means Karen could die in this season, so that kind of gets me excited. But yeah, I dug the show. I really liked it. I thought it was 10 out of 10. It was amazing. I know some people were complaining about weird CGI at the beginning of the show, but I think to keep in mind that there were some parts of the first few episodes that they had already filmed and kept in the show when Kevin Feige went and revamped the whole thing. So some of those scenes you're seeing are from the original MCU Daredevil show that we didn't get to see because it probably sucked, according to Kevin Feige. I mean, whatever. But I digress. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments what you thought of the show, because I'm not going to stop thinking about this. Keep an eye out for my video for Heather Glenn, because she has a cool background. She's cool. I like her. And I like these little comic characters they bring up. That's pretty underrated. It opens it up for people wanting to know more about the comics, and I dig that, because we could always use more comic readers in the world, right? So keep up with all of these reviews by clicking subscribe. If you feel it in your heart to share this with your friends and family, I'll understand. I get it. You're doing a hero's work there. You're a hero. So remember, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you thought, and have a marvelous day.